Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Mono's Game Club. This is episode 5, and this is a weekly podcast where we get together with Raz and Pterodactyl, two other YouTubers, streamers, and, all around good people to talk about video games, talk about video game news, what we've been playing and stuff. If you're watching the video version of this, you might notice that Mr. Pterodactyl isn't here. Unfortunately, he had some issues. So he's not able to, attend today. Hopefully everything's all right on his end, and we hope to see him on the next podcast with no issues. Usually we start the podcast talking about what we've been playing or watching or reading or, basically, video games or books that we've been reading, movies and stuff. In this case, neither me or Ross have been playing much of anything except for games that we have already previously covered. However, I did play a game yesterday, and that was a board game because I'm at the beach. If
you can't
it's not
tell.
Obvious, if you can't tell, I'm at the beach right now. So we played a game with my family here called Telestrations, which is a board game, and I haven't laughed so hard in quite some time because this I just want to give a quick review of what it is. It's like a Pictionary meets we call it like teléfono descompuesto here, which is like a broken telephone thing. I think that's also the US terminology for it when a message doesn't get delivered correctly. So the way this works is everyone gets a drawing pad that has different pages. On one page you draw, on the next you guess, and so on. Like it's draw, guess, draw, guess, draw, guess. Everyone picks a card, you write down the word, and then you pass that drawing pad to the person on your left. And that person has to see what you wrote and then do a drawing that's going to get passed to the person on the left, who sees the drawing, has to guess, and it basically goes around the table. Everyone's drawing or guessing at the same time because everyone has, their own pad. So everyone's pad gets passed around at the same time, if that makes sense. And the way, everything breaks down, the drawings that get interpreted into, something completely different, and then a completely different word gets guessed and stuff like that. We had such a good time yesterday playing that game, and we played with I always forget the English term for this. My wife's dad and
father-in-law,
his wife,
and mother-in-law,
father-in-law, mother-in-law, and my wife's sisters and stuff like that, and just
in-laws.
The
in-laws.
Yeah, my in-laws. Yeah, and dude, we had such a good time. We were all out of breath laughing at the hilarious stuff that was going on. And the cool thing is there's not really a scoring system. There is an optional scoring system if you want to play it that way, but it's just so much fun to see at the end of a round when your pad eventually goes around everyone and gets back to you, then you just show people what happened with your message, basically with your word. And it was just hilarious seeing how things would get, sometimes words that you thought this is not gonna. Oh, dude, this is as a party or family game.
Yeah,
this is by far the most fun I've ever had.
Telephone, dude, I played Telephone back in 5th grade, I think.
Yeah.
It was fun because it's it always gets so discombobulated with the word or the sentence you say. That's funny though.
Yeah, this is basically Telephone meets Pictionary.
Man,
so it's so much fun.
You know what?
Seriously,
I did play something recently. Now that you kind of talk about board games, I played. So I've been playing VR Chat. God, if you know VR Chat, it's just a cesspool of just craziness. I highly suggest it because it's hilarious, but it is just insane. I love it so much though. It's just a love-hate. It's just absolutely insane. But in VR Chat, it's basically, to give you guys some context who've never played it, it's an open source VR game where it's a chat room, but it could be any sort of kind of chat room where you could be at a Taco Bell Or yeah, Brother Chunga says VR chat can scar you. Absolutely. It's like an open source chat room where you can be or be anyone, be anywhere. Like, it's crazy. But we played a Card Against Humanity, and I haven't played that game in forever. I love Cards Against Humanity. So you just walk into a room, you're playing with some just random people, and like they're all random like avatars.
Nice.
So that was pretty fun. I haven't played that in like forever. And actually, I've been playing here and there some VR golf too with Saucy Muffin and Fresh Bakes. So that was pretty fun. The VR
I
golf
need to get
awesome.
some VR. I need to get VR. I have
great.
no VR tech.
I've
never tried. I've tried it actually once in like an event.
It's crazy.
It's something I really want to do. I think I'd have a lot of fun with.
I strongly
but I've just
suggest
been
it.
waiting for like the wireless tech to get better, I guess.
See, I have the Rift because like I'm usually kind of close to my computer and the cable is super long. So the Rift S, if you just plug it in, you don't have to do any setup. It just connects to Steam VR. Super easy. And I can only do so long of play sessions though, because I get motion sickness pretty easy. So I could play for maybe like an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. That's fine.
All right. Let me know. I think my audio is getting some issues because I was hearing you, not the best.
Oh, it sounds great on my end.
Unfortunately. Okay. So unfortunately, I'm in a beach location. Apparently, we're going to get like fiber installed in 4 days or something. So, not in time for this, obviously. But hopefully next year, if I come back here again, hopefully I get some better connection later on. All right. What do you say we talk about the news?
The news.
Because there's a lot of news. Well, starting with, the Hallelujah patch notes, which I think we're both really interested in. And, because there's a bunch of changes coming in that I think, like quality of life changes mostly, that are really good.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a good transition here. So Hallelujah patch 17. It's coming out soon. We don't know when. But as Danny HLL says, when it's ready, it's ready. So when it's ready, it's ready. The PTE, I believe, was live yesterday. So that's pretty cool. But I'll go ahead and just kind of run through some of the high-level main patch notes here. So, Adam, you're absolutely correct. The medium tank, the medium M4 Sherman, getting some love. I don't know exactly. I haven't played the PTE. I don't know exactly how it's going to go ahead and perform. But I understand that potentially the Panzer IV was kind of the blueprint or the ideal of what the medium tank should be. So ideally, it's So Adam said it's much better. So ideally, it's going to run something like the Panzer IV. So you tankers out there, me included, thank God we're not driving a goddamn boat anymore of this medium Sherman. It like Adam put it like in perfect terms. The medium Sherman was so bad that if you did anything in it, it was amazing, and you're like the best tanker ever because it's so bad. It just can get outmaneuvered by everything. So thank God the medium Sherman is getting an update. I look forward to playing. I don't play the PTE, but like once I play the actual patch, I am so excited. Next one, the grenade glitch. So they mentioned specifically.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
They mentioned that they have put in a potential fix. It's a work in progress, as the verbatim suggests, glitch fix. So for those of you guys that don't know the glitch, basically you, my understanding is like you basically can't pull it, or you do pull it and it just won't let you chuck it.
I think there's like two variations of the glitch.
Yeah.
One is that if you change to the grenade and you mouse one too quickly, then it'll kind of like do the animation, but then it will cancel, and then you can't shoot the grenade unless you switch back to your main weapon, shoot with your main weapon, then go back to the grenade, and then you can throw it.
Yeah.
And the other glitch is that sometimes just like, and I think it's related to like pressing the mouse too quickly or something again, it will just not throw the grenade, and then suddenly like brunk, it will go and throw it like randomly.
So the patch notes say it's triggered something to do with a slight disconnect from the server. There's some sort of latency from the server that causes it. They mentioned that this fix is a work in progress fix, and it should have some sort of impact. So hopefully that'll fix it. Yo, what's up, Private Sniper? No worries. Thank you for joining. The next one, map change, mass disconnect, major fix trial being implemented as a suspected fix. So basically, what happens? I know, thank God. So what happens sometimes when you're changing servers? Everyone or like 3/4 of the server will just disconnect and all get lost connection. So they have implemented a potential fix on that to prevent that.
Fortunately, that doesn't happen too often. Like I can go weeks without that happening, but when it does happen,
I'm the opposite.
Especially for
it'll happen. Like if I'm playing on my normal days, Sunday, Monday, my long days, it'll happen at least once a day, guaranteed. Every time.
The problem with that is that it takes some servers might not recover from that.
Correct.
Like, you can have a full server, then everyone gets disconnected and they just go somewhere else, and now your server is back at like 20 people or 10 people or something, and that can really like I guess that happens more often when the map that was loading is not maybe like it's like PHL or something that people don't really like playing. And it's just like if I get booted off the server and it happens to be PHL, I'm like, okay, the game just made me a favor.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna bother. I might have played it otherwise, but I'm not even gonna bother rejoining.
Man, I love PHL.
So yeah,
it grew on me, bro. I'm telling you, I love that map now. But yeah, so
I used to love it. When I first started playing the game, and I just got too many PHL moments,
really?
And now I don't really. I
love it. But yeah, so that as they said in the patch notes should be a suspected fix where it's not necessarily a work in progress. It should fix it. So ideally PHL equals PTSD, I know, right? So ideally that'll fix. Loadout bug, no fix. No fix. There's no fix at all. So
it's not a fix, but they are starting to get some more like feedback on it.
Yes.
In terms, I think the fact that like people learned that if you wait for a garrison spawn wave and then spawn, that solves the loadout bug. That might have helped.
I've tried it, man.
Try and identify what it is
it
that's
doesn't
causing
work for
this.
me.
It's not a fix, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't work for me. So
it's worked for me every time.
It hasn't. Maybe it's because I'm spawning at the HQ spawn. Because it usually happens when I'm on in armor. But so the patch notes specifically say there's no fix. They have made headway, like you mentioned, Mono, in reference to fixing it. But there's no fix. So if you are playing the game and you do encounter it, and maybe you find something that triggers it or find something that fixes it, they need manual feedback. So make sure you go ahead and post manual feedback by their submission tool. It should be the bug reporting tool in the game. So make sure you do your part and report that, because we're all encountering that, so it sucks, and I hate it as a tanker.
We're all super tired. That's the worst bug in the game by far.
100%.
Yeah.
Quality of life, they mentioned there's just going to be general optimization. That's kind of an expected out of every update and patch, so look forward to that. I'm really hoping personally that since this last update, update 11, I've been personally getting a lot more issues with Stalingrad and Karantan, where before the last update, I was running Karantan and Stalingrad perfectly fine. So my anticipation is that those maps specifically, whatever they did in the last update, should be somewhat fixed, and you should see an optimization. But that just expect that in every patch and update. They've been doing a really good job of optimizing each map and each app set. So that's cool. Another one that Luger just mentioned, the tactical map zoom improvement. So I haven't really experienced it because I haven't used the zoom in the PTE, so I don't know exactly what that's referring to. Do you have any? Right
now when you zoom in, use the wheel to like zoom in and out of the mouse, and it's of the map, and it goes by stages basically. It's not smooth.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like sometimes it can be really hard to get
That's happened to
a
me
proper the proper zoom that you want to get in to be able to like look at a garrison or look at something. So smoothing that out is just a little quality of life thing that's gonna make the experience a bit better. It's not an update though. It's somebody is asking on the chat, is this an update or a patch? It's a patch. It's not a full update with like update 11 was an update, right? It's a smaller fix for the game.
Yeah. So,
and lastly, one that I really, really look forward to, and that is the no sway on the binos.
Oh my
When you're
God.
trying to mark something with the squad leader ability, like to mark the map, the binoculars are not gonna sway, which is
It's amazing.
That's gonna
so
make
good.
it so much better, man.
God,
Yeah,
the amount of times I'm trying to
It's
ping a
such
tank and I'm like, come on, goddamn tank! I'm trying to mark it. God, so that's gonna be amazing. Yeah.
In a game where, especially when you're looking at through the binoculars, and you're trying to mark something, and there's trees in the way, you might end up pinging something that's not like it's not like 20 meters off. It's like 300 meters off your mark.
Yeah.
So being able to properly mark something is just gonna make it's just one of those things that's gonna make the entire experience just that much better, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think specifically for like a spotter, which I play a lot with Alpine. Jesus, it's gonna make it so much easier. So those are some of the main high level patch notes. There were some other ones, but I think these are just definitely like some of the high level ones. So we made a wish list. So I have a handful, but I know I want to kind of start off with Mono. So Mono has one wish list that's debatable. So I don't agree with it, but go for it, Mono. All you.
It's debatable because there's people that are wrong about this, right? So I posted a poll on my community page on my YouTube channel asking people about the Car 98 bolt cycling and basically all bolt cycling weapons in the game, because before update 11, when you cycled the bolt after firing the weapon, if you let go of the right click to lower ADS, basically lower the weapon.
This is for the Car 98, by the way. The Car 98.
Yes,
yeah.
It wasn't on the other bolt action rifles, like the Russian rifles, but I wish it was. So you let go of the right click, weapon would lower slightly, and the bolt cycling action was just a tiny bit faster than if you would just shoot from aiming position basically and just cycle from the aiming position. And it's a mechanic that I loved. It was an unintentional mechanic, so it got removed in update 11 when they fixed the bug. But it's one of those bugs that the joke, like, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Like, it was a feature that I really enjoyed. And I made this poll. Like, it's really relatively equal. It's like 55% of people want to see it come back. 45% of people are wrong and don't want to see it come back. So we were talking about this when we were doing the notes for today's podcast, and both Terry and Raz do not want to see this come back. And honestly, I don't know why. So you're gonna have to explain yourself.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Like, I thought it was not well known enough to everyone. I think it really had no basis in reality to where it was like, oh yeah, if you kind of put it down for a second and zoom back in, it's fast. It's like, what? That makes no sense. So just have it a standard speed. That way it's equal for everyone. I mean, the car, you just cock it back. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it.
The thing is, so I can so I'm not a gun guy. Guns are majorly illegal in the country where I live, and
guns are part of my religion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like the US or anything. It's like a regular country. And when you shoot, like, so I haven't shot a Car 98, right? But the reasoning for me was like, you're shooting off the shoulder, so the cocking is going to be, slightly more difficult than if you lower the gun and you cycle the bolt that way. Maybe like that. I really enjoyed it as a skillful thing, like being skillful and being also like having the penalty of dropping your sight from someone. Maybe if you're zoomed in on a target that's far away, you're gonna have to zoom out and drop the weapon to cycle faster, maybe get a shot faster, but you're gonna have to re-aim, right? So it just made the car, it just added some skill and some nuance to the handling of the bolt action rifle that I think is awesome, because I'm always for more complexity, right? Like, I think complexity, when it breeds better gameplay, is better. Like, I wouldn't add complexity, say, like, I wouldn't add a stamina bar to Hell Let Loose. That would be more complexity, but it's not gonna, for me, it's not gonna be result in better gameplay, right? In more fun gameplay. And dealing with that in the Car 98 was a lot of fun. Learning to do it as quickly as possible and stuff like that was a lot of fun. So I'm definitely one of the guys that really wants to see that come back. It was really fun.
Yeah, I think Brother Chungus kind of encapsulates my thoughts. Like, I don't personally like it, but if it made it as a standard for all bolt action rifles, I think that would be okay. If that was just a standard thing. But it was only with the Car 98, where the Springfield, Springfield or the snipers, you can't do that with those, right? So those are also bolt action. The car is the sniper.
Yeah.
But you couldn't... could you do it with the sniper on the...
I have no idea, because I never play sniper. But yeah, like, if it comes back, I'd love to see it for the Mosin Nagant on the Russian side, exactly. For all bolt actions in the game. I think it's just a fun and unique mechanic that is just fun, and I'm all for that. So I'd love to see it come back. But apart from that, we have a lot of like wish notes that we would like to see in future updates, or even in this update, in this patch for Hell Let Loose. There's just so many things that could be improved, honestly.
My list is
so
huge,
why don't we go over... Yeah, the list is huge, so I don't think we're going to touch on everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the first thing, it's just standard, and I think we all want this just as a general thing. I want more SFX and VFX, right? I want more cooler sounds, like playing Postscriptum. Not to compare the two, but Postscriptum, the sound is just insane,
but to
right?
compare the two.
Yeah, I know. But I specifically, and if any of the devs are watching, this is my one ask. There is a sound in Postscriptum of the tank ricochet off that sounds just like the movie Fury. And it's a whistle that whizzes off the tanks when there's a ricochet.
Oh, yeah.
That sound needs to make it into Hell Let Loose. I don't care what happens, that sound has to make it, man. But continued SFX, VFX, just, of course, I would love that, right? With the VFX, tank cook-offs, man. I don't really want there to be too much more complexity into tanking, like somewhat complexity. We can get into that next week. But cooler animations with the tanks, because right now, anytime you blow up any vehicle, it's always the same. If there's a cook-off, oh my god, that'll add to the immersion. You know what I'm saying? Amazing. I'm just reading real quick. Improvement of bullet penetration. Mono, I don't know if you can kind of back me up on this. I feel like it's kind of inconsistent in sometimes. Sometimes I have higher caliber rounds and they just don't go through consistently. Sometimes they do.
If you know your hedges like I do.
Excuse me. I'm not a hedge connoisseur, but
no. It's like I feel like it's those hedges that you can look through that you can't quite cross, or you can cross when you press like spacebar and Z to prone over them. Those are the ones that you can shoot through. The ones that are completely like they completely block your line of sight to the other side, I feel like those are the ones that block every single shot. But either way, yes, there's not a lot of consistency, and it would be awesome to be able to properly suppress and, get the people that are behind a bush, because, after all, you're shooting a bullet at the bush. It should go through, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely, I feel like bullet penetration in general is something that needs to get addressed in the game, because I remember we were playing Kursk a month ago or something, and we were at the windmills, and an MG42 was shooting at us, and he was going through the windmill like no problem.
Yeah.
But other weapons don't go through the windmill, and it's
Exactly.
kind of hard to tell which ones will and which ones don't. And sometimes, like a wooden fence, the MG42 won't go through it either.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like all over the place right now.
Just a little
and
more
I know they've
consistency.
been working on that, but they haven't really finished working on it, I guess.
You mentioned one thing with the hedges, though. There was a patch note that mentioned hedge updates, so be looking out for that. So that maybe that changed. I don't know, but I haven't checked.
Oh yeah, there's new hedgerow.
Yeah. Assets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuff. What else?
So this one we wrote specifically for Terry, because this is Terry's child. The FG42 zeroing. Get that fixed, right? It is so wonky.
Right now, right now, I believe it hits lower than it should, right? So you gotta aim higher up to get your shots in. Otherwise, they end up like too short. I think that's the way it works. I'm not sure. I haven't used the FG42 much.
Yeah, I think it's zero.
But there's definitely an issue with the aim.
I think it's 0 to like 300 meters or something like that. That's why you have to aim like super low.
Yeah.
It's super weird. Super weird.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the patch notes. M4 improvement. I was just kind of talking about in general with this too. What I would like to see is maybe just an overall improvement with medium tanks to where we could just outmaneuver to an extent heavy tanks. My thought process is heavy tanks are the big boys, right? So they are going to move a little slower, but they're going to be able to go ahead and outmaneuver you from maybe over 500 meters, right? Because they can just traverse faster. But with medium tanks to counter, they've got to be able to go ahead and move fast enough where they can go ahead and somewhat outmaneuver the heavy tanks when they're close enough. You know what I'm saying? So they can try to go ahead and wrap around. So I think just overall tank maneuverability would be great. I would love to see that.
One thing that I do want to mention is we have a lot of notes here on basically on tank mechanics and tank interaction, like the AT gun, how the AT gun works with the infantry, the half tracks, and tanks in general, stuff like that. We are gonna have Mr. Fresh Baked Goods in the show next week, and that's gonna be a very tank heavy episode.
Definitely.
So we're gonna talk about those when the time comes next week.
Yeah, so hype for Fresh Baked Goods,
dude. That I've been asking for this fix for a long time, and I think this is just on everyone's list. Better spawn points for Omaha, for SMDM. One that's not here, it's Hurtgen Forest, dude. On the Allied side, you spawn so far away from the trucks in those maps. Sometimes it's even better to spawn at another spawn point because you're going to end up closer. Like, you spawn mid and you're closer to the bottom. Yeah, the bottom spawn point in Hurtgen for the Allies is the worst. You spawn, like, literally, like, a minute and a half away from the
I don't know.
The half track. It's the worst. It's the worst.
The right top spawn of SMDM, if you're a tanker, to get that recon tank is the same thing. Because you spawn at middle HQ, basically. And you have to run so freaking far.
But if you spawn at middle HQ, there's like 2 spawns at middle HQ. The first person that spawns super far away. And the second person to spawns
is right next
to the vehicles.
So that solo tanker always gets the fucking heavy tanks. Every time. God.
It's the worst. Yeah. It's the worst. They really need to fix the spawns on... For some reason, it's always on the Allied side. It doesn't seem to affect the German sides as much.
Yeah.
But they definitely need to fix those. And I don't know, like if I feel like I'm no game dev, but I feel like those are minor fixes that should be easy to implement. You know, from what I know of having like modded a few games and stuff, it shouldn't be too hard. I don't know why they haven't fixed them already. I feel like sometimes Black Matter gets sort of like a tunnel vision in terms of what they're gonna fix or and whatnot, and these tiny fixes slip through the cracks, and they just don't address them. I would love to see those, because those really affect the start of the game for the allies in a vastly negative way. Like if you get the southern middle point for Hurtgen, the allies are pretty screwed, because they're not going to get there as fast as the Germans. Like, there's no way. And that really sucks.
I put Omaha as well. I know Brother Chungus says Omaha spawns are fine for the attackers for AT gun spam. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. We gotta change Omaha, man. If you have a good defense team, and what is the top base on the beach? Dog Red or something? It's the actual dog one.
The first middle point.
The first
Dog
point. Dog Green.
Dog Green is the worst.
Impossible.
Dog Green is the absolute worst.
If you're
it's
American
impossible.
and you have a good German team, you will never get that point ever.
No.
So,
though I will say, a lot, like the vast majority of players do not understand how you storm the beach effectively.
Correct.
They will go all over the place. They will try and flank and do stuff like that. They will not use smoke for the life of them. And that's basically all you need to do. You need to use smoke and get inside the point.
Yeah.
But as a German, there's one thing that you can do that's extremely effective, and that is go with a satchel. You put a satchel on the wall of the bunker, and then you just retreat, and everyone that's inside the circle is pretty much dead. So I've done that multiple times and killed like 5-6 people plus OPs and stuff, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's just like Omaha. I think the biggest problem with Omaha, and Brother Chungus says it's a true meat grinder, but probably one of his best maps. I think it's a great map.
It's one of the best maps.
After you get off the beach.
It's a fantastic map.
But the beach has to get fixed, man. Like, you can't have the allies only spawn in 2 boats. Because if you're a good German team, and if you guys are playing, literally you want to win every time, don't hold the cliffside, push and put a garrison on the point. Literally. They cannot push up.
On the beach.
Ever. You get 1 or 2 AT guns from, if you're in Dog Green, there's a really sweet spot. You can hit the entire beachhead, and you can kill the tanks inside the landing crafts. It's the worst thing. Yeah. You can never get off the beach. If you're American and you want to have a chance at winning, the only strategy that works is the second you spawn, you have to get in the transport or supply truck and rush the point. Because you can get there typically faster than they can and start the cap. But if you have the Germans push as well, it's only like 1 or 2 people that can make it. So you can easily out-cap the Americans. But if you're getting like the tank or the trucks, you have to get there immediately.
I feel like they have to make it so the Germans can't, like, this is a shitty fix, but it's a fix at least. Have it be out of bounds for the Germans, like the entire beach area past the street that runs along the beach, because otherwise it's just impossible. And in real life, like if we're gonna go for the realism angle, which is convenient for this argument, the Germans wouldn't have like left their barricades and their bunkers to go running towards the beach. Like that's not what you're gonna do, right? So yeah, like
I think the fix to that,
Omaha
though,
needs something.
The fix, just have the whole HQ area open where you can spawn at any spot, because the problem is you can't get off the beach and around unless you have an airhead. But if you have a good team, they're always looking out for the airheads, right? So like if you could spawn at each HQ, whichever one you want, it spreads people out enough to where you can get behind them. And that's all. Once you get behind them, you're fine. But the problem is you can't, because you only have the 1 spawn and the 2 It's literally like 2 landing crafts that you spawn in.
Yeah,
so if they
two-
get
yeah.
an AT gun up on each, it's like literally every single time you just get smashed. Every time.
I wish they added dude, Battlefield 9042 had drivable landing crafts for the Omaha assault.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
I was in a
That
landing
was such
craft.
that game was ahead of its time.
I was in a landing craft the other day, and like I was changing my settings in the boat, and I didn't realize you only had like a couple seconds to get out, so he closed the bitch and like drove me back. I was like, no!
yeah, that's happened to me. Yeah. It's the worst.
We'll go ahead and speed up a couple other ones. 76 reloads way faster than the Tiger. It's just OP, right? Crazy OP.
Yeah. I'm gonna get my charger while you go over these.
You're good. Add color blindness options. So a lot of males do have color blindness. Luckily, I don't, but some folks in my chat do, and we actually spoke with Danny HLL, and he mentioned that it is something on the table, hopefully sooner than later. So that's something we're definitely going to go ahead and be bringing, which is going to be awesome for those of us that are colorblind. So that'll be cool. The green and blues are really hard to tell apart. When's Market Garden coming in? There's no release date on it, but it's coming this year. It's 2 Market Garden maps. Kill infantry. The AT gun, when you're in it, it doesn't blow up. So, like, what is going on? You don't die. So you can just keep putting them down. Got to put, like, a timer between when you either redeploy it or it blows up. And you have to kill the infantry. Like, the infantry can't just be able to stand up like they were unscathed by the AT gun. Like, what is wrong with that?
That you do die sometimes. I feel like
I've never died
if you're
since this
leaving
last
the
update.
AT. No,
Ever. Never died. It blows up
weird.
every time, and I just stand up, and like my ears are ringing, and I'm like, I'm alive. Well, I have supplies. Let me put another one down. You can never die.
Yeah. Oh man.
Unstuck feature.
I feel like there's.
Jesus.
For the
I
trucks
need to
and
get
for
unstuck.
everything, yeah.
I get stuck way too goddamn much. Way too much. This is my personal wish list. Mono, you can probably attest to this because you were in that game. Can we make it so like squad leaders or commanders are the only ones, or maybe there's a permission-based system for half tracks? I can't, for the life of me, take these dang blueberries that just get in, turn on the engine, drive it 2 feet, and then walk out. I'm gonna lose it.
I feel like right now the half track is only good for the team that is winning and that has a lot of resources to spare, because the possibility of the half track just being a way to like quickly burn a lot of fuel for nothing is very much real, because somebody's going to take it and fuck it up. And if not, it's just going to get destroyed by the enemy. So it's just too expensive for what it is. And it's only ever worth it if you're like, if you're going to drive it as commander, you're just going to stay there or something. I feel like a lot of these, the AT gun and like the AT gun spam, I feel like they are part of a bigger discussion. I was playing Postscriptum, and in Postscriptum, it's the squad leader or the commander that can deploy the blueprints for you to build that stuff. And I wonder if that's what we need in Hell Loose, where it's not like the AT gun, the AT guy. That like if it's part of the of the squad leader kit, and if it's associated with a cooldown or something to do in that matter that can better prevent these from just spiraling out of control, because they are way too easy for a good squad to put up. And that's also, I think, a problem with the game, that a bad squad is not gonna bad squads don't even build garrisons, right? And a good squad builds like 8 and 2 AT guns.
Yeah.
In a few minutes. So but that's like a broader issue, I think, with the game in general.
And then just 2 quick high key points. Slim, you literally took it right out of my mouth, brother. They need a squad and SL chat like changer, muter, mixer. I can't tell you how many times I can't hear my squad or this command chat, or someone's too loud. And then I'm a sucker. Give me some more realistic camos, bro. I love my camos. I want some more realistic camos. This might just be me, but like some within realism. I don't want some crazy shit. I want something that was like at that battle, but like let me customize my
Would
stuff.
Would you like camos to be restricted to what actually was in that battle
That'd be
instead
fine.
of just being everything available?
That'd be totally fine. Like, give me like 2 or 3 camos that may have been in that specific battle. Because I think that's what Postscriptum does. Your camo changes for whatever map you're playing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Give me camo that matches that environment. That's totally fine. But I want some more. I love that stuff.
I don't care much about the camo situation, but the audio situation is a pain in the ass. And I've been like my dream scenario for the audio is to have a separate device selection, like a hardware selection device for the game audio, and a separate one for the squad chat for all voice comms, and sliders for each of the voice chat channels, right? But if I could route the squad audio, or the proximity chat and all that through a different hardware device, that would make it so I can actually use the footage of the videos with the full audio, because I can't use it for the YouTube videos. And I remember people saying like, "Whoa, why are you putting music over the game audio?" And it's like, because all of my game audio has like a bunch of people talking in the background, right? So you can't really showcase the game without having you either have to turn you either have to turn the chat completely off and use Discord or something, or basically no audio for you. So yeah, that's really annoying, dude.
Yeah.
I wish you could handle it like separately, and I think the game would benefit from it in terms of actual videos and stuff from people on YouTube, on TikTok, or whatever, like making videos about the game. Yeah.
I absolutely
All right.
agree.
I think that's our Hell Loose wish list covered. We have a lot of news to talk about. Starting with our weekly shit on Battlefield 2042 moment, I think.
Shit on Battlefield moment. All right, Nano.
Get on Battlefield.
Take it on. Go for it.
All right, so plenty of Battlefield 2042 related shit on news, because the EA earnings call with the investors was like last week, or I don't know when it was, but it was all over the news. I've been on vacation, so every day is the same for me. Battlefield is dead to me, says Brother Chungus on chat. Dude, I uninstalled Battlefield and canceled my EA Play Plus Premier exclusive subscription, because I got that to play Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda. Obviously those didn't turn out all right. And then I was like, I'm going to leave it for like Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042. Obviously, again, not the best of choices. So Battlefield 2042, no sales figures for the game. Even though people asked for them during the call, they were like, this only accounts for like 10% of our portfolio. So like, we're just not going to talk about it, because like we don't feel like it's worth it, right? Because what are you going to do with that information? Like that to me is, I mean, it's obviously a sign that it didn't sell well, and probably sold less than Battlefield 5, which itself didn't sell very well in the first few months. Now, obviously, everyone's regarding Battlefield 5 as like, it used to be good, which it was. It was actually a good game. It just had shitty maps and some shitty stuff over it, but it was actually decent. The other is that the delay. There's a delay. There was going to be an update for the scoreboard, which is not in the game. I think everyone knows that. And they were going to update that on February. That update has been pushed back to March, together with basically everything else that has been pushed, because the content, the season 1 that was going to start in March, has been pushed to summer. So no new content for the brand new Battlefield for like, what is it going to be, 9 months after release?
Yeah, it's something crazy like that. I mean,
that is just insane.
It's nuts. History, welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, so to catch you up here, basically, we have a podcast every Friday. He came over from Fresh's video of me teabagging some guy. So, but yeah, so we do a podcast every week. So my name is RazBora. This is over here on this side. This is Monoespacial. He's also a Hella Loose YouTuber. Especial. And then we usually have Espacio. Espacio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have usually Pterodactyl that also has the podcast with us. He had an emergency today, so he's out. But usually we have them kind of join us, and we all talk about different games, stuff like that. So welcome to the channel, brother. Sorry to cut off the Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, back to Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, Brother Chungus says on chat, like, Battlefield 4 by this time, but
really?
This time in Battlefield 4, China Rising had come out, and Second Assault was on its way to release. Yeah,
Second Assault
Battlefield 4
was back to Karkan, right? Was that?
I don't remember.
The China Rising was awesome because I remember they had the bombing runs, right? The bombing raids you could get into. That was
big
cool.
Ass,
I love that.
The big ass plane. Yeah,
the maps are good too.
Yeah. Battlefield 4. Now everyone's like revisioning the Battlefield history, and the thing is, like, Battlefield 4 when it launched, everyone says like, "Oh, remember Battlefield 4 launched broken as well, and they fixed it, whatever." It's like, yes, but Battlefield 4 had major technical issues at launch. It didn't have the gameplay and the maps suck issue.
Yeah,
that Battlefield 2042 has. One thing is like fixing I remember the audio didn't work in Battlefield 4 for like the first 10 minutes of a match. Every single time you load the game, no audio, at least for me and many friends, and you would just play without audio until it got like magically fixed itself. That's one thing, right? That's obviously not good, but that's one thing. The problem with Battlefield 2042 is the specialists that nobody likes.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone looks the same that nobody likes. The fact that the maps all suck because they are all like open area plus huge ass buildings. They didn't even get one of those tall buildings right, because on maybe the best one is the one on Orbital, because Siege of Shanghai on Battlefield 4, the way that worked was that you had multiple elevators, but also the top floor had multiple top floors, right? There was the rooftop, then there was like the lower like roof below that, and then like a half step floor in that same area. So even in that same like rooftop area, you had plenty of different cover situations, and you couldn't just get shot from everywhere, which is not the case in pretty much all of the rooftops in Battlefield 2042. Someone said, like, I wish Mono's probably hoping he was a dev on Battlefield. Not a dev, but I would have loved to be like a consultant or something, because it's just like the issues with the game in terms of game design to me are so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you play video games and you end up doing this? And I saw a guy on Twitter who obviously works on Battlefield, and he was saying like, we're working on this and stuff like that. And somebody said like, the maps are shit, whatever. And he was like, tell us what you would like to see in terms of map design. It's like, no, that's your fucking job. You shouldn't be asking for map design advice on fucking Twitter. You're supposed to be a AAA studio with 20 plus years of game development doing this exact game that you're doing right now. And somehow you still manage to fuck it up. It's like, I don't know, dude, Volkswagen not being able to do a decent car after making them
for years.
For years.
I just don't understand.
What the hell?
Like, specifically with the maps, every single one of the new maps, I played a decent amount of Battlefield 2042.
They're garbage.
They're not memorable at all. I can go back to each Battlefield and have at least one or two that come to mind, like, immediately. I mean, Devastation, right? Battlefield 5. Obviously, Operation Metro, Wake Island, Strike at Karkan, like, Caspian Border. Just memorable maps. This one, they're just so bad, man. Like, the flow is terrible. It's like it's a huge map, but it's empty. If that makes sense. Like there's nothing there.
Every map follows that same stupid design. Every map has the big ass buildings, right? And then like a major flat area that I guess whoever like thought of this was like, we're gonna have the area for the infantry that's gonna be like the buildings and stuff, and then we're gonna have a good area for the tanks and shit to move around with no obstacles.
But even the buildings are like, oh yeah, there's a first floor, and then you get to the top by the elevator. It's like, what? There's nothing inside at all. It's like useless.
No. Like you either get through with a helicopter or you get through with like with a thing.
It's always that one guy taking the helicopter, jumping out.
Yeah. But neither of those work because you can summon a tank from the sky, so you can like drop a tank on the top floor and then nothing's getting in because as soon as those doors open for the elevator, you just smash them with a round. Yeah. And if a helicopter gets close, he's going to get fucked up by your tank anyway. So
I like this question a lot. What do you think about it, Spitfire? Mono. So Spitfire says, do you think that the Hell Let Loose devs would have done a better job at making Battlefield 2042 maps? What do you think?
I think my 6-year-old would have done a better job making Battlefield 2042 maps. I've seen the stuff he does on Lego, and it's better than Battlefield maps for sure.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I really think they would. I know some of the Battlefield 2040 the Hell Let Loose devs, specifically the map designers. And I've gotten the ability to ask them a couple questions in their like design process, just because I'm personally curious. And they've elaborated that for them like Hell Loose is a little different, being that it's trying to recreate something, where Battlefield 2042 is trying to create something new, right? So that's two different things.
But let's put it this way: like I feel like maps like Hurricane Forest, if they were in Battlefield, that would be a freaking awesome Battlefield map, right? Because you have like plenty of like the northern part for vehicles, more open, but then you have the forest area for like more infantry-based combat, I guess. There's plenty of maps, even lacking some key elements of Battlefield maps, such as like elevation differences and stuff. Like, I don't think Foy would be a good Battlefield map. But maybe, I don't know, something like Carentan would be fucking awesome as a Battlefield map. But it's just...
I think they would blow it out of the water. I mean, honestly.
For everyone they are so passionate about it. Dude, that's a comment from the chat. I started playing Battlefield 2042, and that was the only time I've ever gotten into the competitive scene of a game. I used to play in tournaments in Battlefield 2042, and I followed and played every single Battlefield that came my way, like ever since, basically. Battlefield has always been my game. In fact, Monoespacial channel, like the YouTube channel, started as a Battlefield 5 channel in Spanish before transitioning, and I was like, I need something that doesn't suck and that's not dead like Battlefield 5, and that's how I found Hell Let Loose. And when this Battlefield game that took 3 years in development, by the way, let's not forget that, I was like super excited, dude. I remember talking to a lot of people like, oh, I can't wait for Battlefield 2042 because that's gonna be the new game for the channel, right?
It's like a soft
and I think
revamp.
I did like 3.
Yeah,
I did like 3 videos, and I was like, dude, I wish I could do videos of this, but I just don't find the game to be any fun at all. So, yeah, it's just, oh man,
it's just so bad.
Battlefield, and it's not that hard, dude. It's not that hard. But the people making it, I have no trust in them anymore. Even Portal, which people say like, oh, Portal is actually good. It's like, kind of, because Portal, like, it doesn't have the artillery guns.
They advertise
Battlefield 2042
way more than what you can actually do. Like, I watched this video based on the Portal.
I did a video on that.
Oh, no, I think it was your video. Yeah. How, like, you can only edit. No, it was your video. How you can only edit so much. You can't actually, like, edit whatever you want. And the advertisement for it was like, yeah, you can edit whatever you want. You can do all this different. It's like, no, like your vehicles, I think, what's it, the vehicles? There's always a standard number of vehicles. Like you can't touch them. It's like, what? Yes. What is that? That makes no sense.
You can't do like give me Alamein with like 5 B-17s per side and nothing else, and just like go at it, right? Like you can't do that, and that is such a basic thing. Anyone that's ever indulged in any modding tools at all knows like if a game has vehicles, there's nothing more hilarious than just like spamming vehicles as much as you can, right? And just like repeating stuff like that. Like everyone gets whatever, a bazooka,
like aerial combat, like only jets, right? Or only tanks.
Yeah, only.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
it's like what?
Can't do that. That's too complicated for Battlefield. I think that speaks to the limitations of the Frostbite engine and the Frostbite engine tools that they have. Whatever it is, like whatever the case is, the team developing Battlefield, I think both Portal or Hazard Zone or All Out Warfare mode, everything that has to do with current state of Battlefield, I just don't trust those guys to have the proper judgment on basically anything. Because even the maps that they chose for Portal mode fucking suck. Like not like El Alamein is kind of alright, but it's a very large map with not a lot, right? And the other map, the Ordained Forest, Battle of the Bulge, that's a shitty map. It's always been a shitty map. It was a shitty map in Battlefield 1942 because the Allied can basically camp the Germans before they have a chance to leave the HQ. It's always been like that. So I don't know why they chose the maps. The only map that makes sense to me for it to be in Portal mode is Caspian Border.
Yeah, that's a must.
The one with
Operation Firestorm, I feel like should have been in there too. That was a great one.
Yeah. Yes. What was the Battlefield 3 container map area?
I was gonna say shipment. That's North Shore Canals. Yeah, that one's in there.
But I'm talking about another one because that was there because of the TDM mode.
Yeah,
that was really good on on that map.
One of the best.
I'm talking about the other map that had like that the north side of the map was containers and the southern side was like more like hills, like deserted hills and construction sites. I don't really remember. I really like that map, but it's been such a long time. But that to me is like, include those maps. Don't include North Shore Canals just because of the TDM, right?
The thing that was annoying too that I found with Portal was it was super unbalanced as well. Like, and I was playing Arica Harbor, which is one of my favorite maps of all time. Bad Company 2, for those of you guys that don't know.
That's in Chile. That's supposed to be in Chile, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, Arica is a city in the north. It's like one of the most...
that map.
If not the northernmost city in Chile.
So I played one of my first games, and this was like... So Portal, for those of you guys that haven't played it, has like set game modes, and then it has the other game modes. So you could do like the community servers from Battlefield of their custom game modes, if that makes sense. So that's what it was. I was playing like Bad Company 2, right? And in Bad Company, there was this little helicopter you could have that the recon gets, and it has a little gun on it. Dude, motherfucker racked up 200 kills on us, and it was so bad because I don't remember this ever being the case in Bad Company 2, where the spawns spawned every single person in one spot. So all he did was sit there, and as we're trying to defend on rush, he's sitting from like a mile away, unloading into one pinpoint area. And we just keep spawning, and we can't get out of our spawn. And he just racks us up, and they just waltz right on through us. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It was awful. That was my first experience of Portal. I gave it another chance. I liked like the Battlefield 1942. That was awesome. But for fuck's sakes, Bad Company 2 was one of my favorite ones. Karg Island, yes.
Like I had solid experiences in Portal for sure. Like I remember we jumped. I think it was with you. We jumped into a BF3 hardcore.
Oh yes,
old maps.
That I did like.
We played Yeah, we played El Alamein and a bunch of other maps, and that was
Karma
a ton
Cuts,
of
right?
fun. That was actually a really, really good time.
That's Karma Cuts server, like the hardcore realism or whatever. I think that's what he does. It's like one taps, and the DMRs are amazingly fun to use. That's the only good thing I've liked in Portal. That's it. Everything else is terrible.
Yeah, but any competent dev team would have been able to squeeze so much more out of this Portal idea, especially with such a rich history from actually good games on the Battlefield franchise. Readily available for you to just do the Battlefield 3 remake at this point. Just do that. Just get that, put better graphics on it, and add more maps. Tweak some things, because I remember maps like Grand Bazaar, you could camp the shit out of that map on the HQs. So they do have some issues, but that you could do that. You can do that. You own Battlefield. Just do a good Battlefield game. Don't fucking try and reinvent the wheel every single time you do a new game. This is coming from someone that when Battlefield 4 came out, I was like, oh, this is like Battlefield 3, but reskinned, basically. Why would they do another Battlefield 3? And, Battlefield 4, I think, had a lot of issues that people don't remember, like the loot boxes for the attachments on the weapons and shit like that. That was awful. But it was still a better game than whatever this is. And honestly, just people keep dropping the game and moving on to Hell Loose and other games, and it's such a shitty time to be alive when you don't have a good Battlefield game to play. Because my God, when they are good, they are the best multiplayer games.
I play
by
Battlefield
far.
like crazy. I mean, Battlefield is great. The destruction is just so immersive. But for fuck's sakes, get it right, man. It's terrible. People
want you to get it right, and you are still unable to do it.
Yeah,
I
don't think there's any way to save Battlefield 2042. I mean, it's just there's so much wrong. I think you summed it up perfectly. There's so much wrong with the core gameplay aspect of it that they have to change the game for it to be good, in my opinion.
They would have to for me, to save Battlefield, first of all, you would have to do something real quick because the people are leaving the game. If you check out the Steam numbers, and I know they are not the entire player base, I keep seeing that argument. But when the peak for Steam was 100,000 people, and now it's sitting at 3,000 players, that is 97% of the people have stopped playing the game.
Insane.
That is just insane. So there's not going to be anyone left by the time the game is fixed, even if you can fix it, right? And in order to fix it, what I would do, I would delete the specialist. I would bring back the classes. I would do generic Soldier Man classes that look like generic Soldier Man. And I would get rid of every single map. Every single Battlefield 2042 map, I would just delete off the game. For now, you only have Alamein and, North Shore Canals, Caspian Border, maybe 2 other maps, while we sit down and work our asses off to get 5 new maps within the next 2 months or something like that. Otherwise, whatever fixes that come are just going to highlight the fact that the maps suck.
Yeah.
And that's unsolvable. That's an issue that is unsolvable unless you actually do different maps. And let me segue onto something here that we didn't talk about before. Black Matter, the team behind Hell Loose, deserves a freaking medal for their work on maps and going back to maps and fixing what doesn't work. Because I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but Omaha Beach had its strong points moved from their usual areas before update 11. They have now been changed. So, for example, Artillery Battery, which was an almost...
they were moved. Specifically, the Artillery Battery was moved. Sorry, by the way, to give you guys some context, Mono is on vacation. So he's literally not on Omaha Beach, but he's on a beach. and he has terrible connection. But this is a very flattering picture of him here. But yeah, so what he's trying to say is basically that Black Matter goes back and adjusts for the gameplay itself. Specifically artillery battery on Omaha, right? So that used to be right next to the hill. They moved the entire hill. Like, if you guys haven't played it in a little bit. As well as, I mean, Hurtgen, like, they completely revamped Hurtgen, right? They've completely changed Saint Marie Dumont, right? Just some of these maps, man. I will say, I miss the old Saint Marie Dumont. I would like to see that come back, maybe as like a seasonal thing. That'd be cool. But no, they've done an amazing job. Yeah, they're fantastic with the work they've done, and the way they kind of go about it and work on it and continue to go ahead and adjust. I mean, it's commendable for sure. Someone asked, where was the question? Do you think Nordic? So Nordic asked, do you think the franchise can recover if the game can't? So that's something that Terry was talking about the other day. So Terry was talking about that EA could potentially go ahead and close down DICE. I don't know if I necessarily believe that would happen. At least maybe it's just because I'm a fanboy of Battlefield, you know? So I think it's just one of those things where I'm really hoping they don't. In my opinion, what would happen is if the next Battlefield comes out and it's as much of a disaster as 2042 out, DICE is closed. That's what I think will happen. But if not, then I think DICE will stay around. But if they mess up this next game, whenever that comes out in the next 2 to 3 years, probably, it's not going to be good, man. DICE probably will not go around. The franchise itself may go dark, just like Medal of Honor. I think Medal of Honor will eventually come out. Mono or Terry had a great suggestion where they think it would be great to see maybe Medal of Honor come back as like a Hell Let Loose competitor. You back, Mono? There he is. No worries. We were picking up. Ooh, the connection's pretty bad, bud. You there? Try to disconnect and connect back real quick. One time. But yeah, I think Medal of Honor would be cool if they brought that back as like a hardcore version, right? Of Battlefield, essentially, because that they were kind of in the middle of Battlefield, Call of Duty for a little bit. But yeah, if they came back as like a hardcore Battlefield, that would be sick. Because I love Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor had one of arguably the best sniper missions of all time. If you played the first, like I'm talking the new Medal of Honors, that Medal of Honor was dope. The parachuting, yeah. Oh my god, that would be sick, dude. If it was a hardcore first-person shooter Medal of Honor, that would be amazing. HLL devs are so passionate about the map design. It's a lot of work and art for them to work on. They are wonderful artists, too. They've done such an amazing job at making the maps immersive. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, man. I think you need to get that next game right. Otherwise, you get more people dropping off. I absolutely agree, Adam, because I'll play the next game. I'll give it a chance. But if this next game doesn't work, like, I'm out. I'm done with Battlefield for sure. Medal of Honor didn't do Vietnam. No, they didn't. They didn't do Vietnam. That was Battlefield Vietnam. Battlefield did 2. Battlefield did a full Vietnam, and then they did Bad Company 2 Vietnam DLC, which was probably one of the best DLCs for any game I've ever played. That DLC was almost like its own entire game. That was amazing. It was so good. Such a good one. Medal of Honor was awesome. Tier 1, yeah, dude. Medal of Honor. The Warfighter wasn't. I did not like that one, but the original Medal of Honor, I think not Warfighter, Tier 1, I think that's the one you're talking about. That was awesome, man. That was such a good game. You back, Mono? Ooh. Mono is no more. We'll give him another minute here to join back up. But yeah, so as for Battlefield 2042, man, I really, really hope it comes back. I hope that Battlefield itself comes back. I just don't know how. Never played So junk food, you've never played Bad Company. Should you take the time to go back? I would say, couldn't get off Omaha, I know. I would say Bad Company 2 was great. I mean, the story was okay, but if you go back to Bad Company now, what's going to happen is you're going to be really thrown off by the mechanics of it. The gameplay mechanics didn't age well. Like, you can't lay down, you can't really vault. To get into windows, you have to like jump in the crevice and like crouch and then walk through. But I would highly suggest going back to it if you have it free to play. Like, if you have a Game Pass, you can go back and play the story. Story is cool, man. Story is really great. Starts off in World War II. You get the M1, you get the Thompson. The online was phenomenal, though. That's what I loved about it, man. Online was amazing. I loved the online. Oh, man, yeah, I would get very mad at those mechanics. Yeah, it did not age well, I'll be honest. But the game itself was fantastic. Honestly, one of the best freaking games. Again, sorry for Mono here being disconnected. He's trying to get back in because his thing is pretty janky. But aside from that, the last news story we had was that Sony bought Bungie. Freaking crazy, man. So I can't remember exactly what the... that was Terry's aspect here, but they bought out Bungie, so that means they're getting access to Destiny. I'm very interested to see how it's going to go. Their plan is to go ahead and make Bungie and their games, and I quote, still like available for all platforms, but we'll see how long that goes. It seems like a lot of the publishers here are buying up just everything. So I wonder what the future of gaming is going to look like now that, you know, a lot of the IPs here are being bought out by either Microsoft or Sony. I don't know what Nintendo's doing or what they're going to do, but yeah, everyone 20 billion plus 1.3 billion for employee retention. Yeah, so that's crazy. I mean, I love Destiny. I'll be honest. Like, I know Destiny has its own fan base. I'm one of the fans, man. Plot twist: EA by God, please no, please. I do not want EA to buy Team 17. Nintendo has their own niche. It does, but like, come on, man. They have Capcom. They have Nightmare Fuel, I know. They have Capcom. They have oh my god, I can't remember. Sega. So they have a lot of other different companies that they could easily buy and make first party. But I don't know. Konami. Yeah, no one wants Konami. That's the thing. You there,
I'm
Mom?
back.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah. Oh man.
Good question.
Ran out of
sorry, go ahead.
money on my cell phone apparently.
Oh,
that's
no.
why the internet dropped off. Yeah.
No worries, dude. Crucius asked, any idea why Ready or Not dropped Team 17? Yes. They had creative differences. I believe it's specifically in reference to the the school shooter map.
The school level.
Yeah, they're still developing a school shooter map, like a full level of a school shooter simulator. I can understand why the publisher would want to go ahead and step away from that, but fuck it, Ready or Not, like, go for it, man. Yeah, no, legitimately, like, they're making a school shooter level that I don't know if I'll be able to stream on Twitch because that would be insane. And I get it, it's way too current, but, you know, creative, God bless the USA, yeah, they're creative. I mean, do whatever you want to do, man. Like, if you're creative, you're creative. You know, like, it's probably better for them to do what they want to do. I mean, I don't know necessarily. What is it? Unfortunately, no current. Yeah, it's just too current, man. I heard it's amicable, but didn't look into it. Dude, yeah, you should definitely get Ready or Not. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think if you go back to the, Gulf War situation and, the whole, Operation Freedom, there were games portraying that conflict at the time that it was actually going on. It's still going on, actually. So, granted, it's different because that's, an army situation versus, but it still, has a lot of, civilian casualties and fucked up situations guaranteed in that scenario. Obviously, maybe not as sensitive as something like an active shooter in a school. But yeah, like Team 17, I guess, just like said, we'd rather not deal with the backlash or the problems that this is obviously going to come with. Am I talking alone again?
No, you're there. You're there.
Oh,
I'm hearing you. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's the cop game. Yes, it's like the old SWAT games. It's really good. If it's really good for playing with games, you play against the PC. So it's completely different from something like Hell Loose, but it's really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fantastic game. If you don't watch it, definitely tune into to me or Mono stream. We've been streaming it here and there. I was trying to stream it once a week, but Alpine and I really play it. So I highly suggest. It's a great game. A lot of potential. A lot of potential. Yeah. All they really need to do is just open it up as a workshop, and you would have unlimited maps. And it is completely replayability, just all the time.
Yeah.
I generally don't buy early access games. Been burnt too many times, but that one looks fun. Dude, like, Alpine summed it up perfectly. He's just like, I want to play this game more than I want to play Hella Loose. And I was like, damn. I feel the same way.
Damn.
Yeah. Dude, like, when you play with a good group of people, it's so fun. Video games cause violence in kids. I know, right, Chungus? But, yeah. So, anyway, about Sony and buys Bungie. We were talking about Destiny right before you got disconnected here. What else would they get with Bungie? I don't know.
I guess not much
Destiny's
else,
the main
I'm going to say.
Yeah. We don't have Halo, so that's the biggest thing.
No.
So
yeah, I feel like this might be a move. There's a rumor that Guerrilla Games from Killzone and Horizon Zero Dawn fame are developing a multiplayer shooter again. I don't know if that's true or not, but people are saying like I've seen the argument like Sony needs if Microsoft gets Call of Duty, then Sony needs something to go against Call of Duty, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is like I don't see Sony buying Bungie as a reaction to Microsoft buying Activision. It's not a reaction because these deals take a long time, right? Yeah. So it's not like they, like Microsoft bought Activision. Sony was like, oh, I guess we're gonna go buy Bungie. Yeah. I feel like it's more a reaction of the Microsoft strategy over the past few years, where they have just aggressively been buying studios like Bethesda, like the Double Fine guys, and so on. Yeah, and PlayStation is like, at some point you got to start buying your own studios again to just guarantee that you're gonna have games, right? So I don't know.
Bro,
yeah.
I don't know if if COD is dead, man. I think COD is just as alive as it's been, man. It's
responding to the chat, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. He says COD is dead. Microsoft buying Activision was a great thing. They already said no more annual games. I still feel that their new model, and the new model you're gonna see is that free to play, man. Free to play, like with what's the COD battle royale going on?
Warzone.
Right, yeah, Warzone. That's the future, man. That's the future. Just all free to play. It's continuous. They just develop content as they go, and you just buy skins, you buy different things like that. Yeah, Call of Duty, as much as we hate it, I'm sure in chat, it's alive, man. It is still getting buco's money.
I think both claims are slightly off point, because it's not a matter of it's alive or it's dead. The problem with any company is growth. We live in a world where growth is king. So if you're not growing, you might as well be dead. So COD is just not growing. In fact, it's shrunken.
That's
like the what is it, Vanguard? Like, it didn't sell as well as, say, like Black Ops 3, I'm gonna say. So that's the problem. When things don't grow infinitely, which, spoiler, they can't. Like, people get upset. Like, investors get upset, managers get upset, and that's when shit starts to hit the fan, because it's like, we need to have increasingly more sales and more people behind this. So Call of Duty is doing fine. The thing is, like, it's not growing as much as it should, and that scares investors, right? and that's when things start going wrong. So Microsoft buying Call of Duty, I feel like, yes, maybe that's going to inject some life into it if they stop annualizing this. But I'd say that they are probably going to go the way either free to play, or what's the difference between free to play or you get it free as part of a subscription service like Game Pass? It's basically no difference, right? At least for the consumer themselves. Maybe you get it as part of Game Pass, but if you want to play it on the PlayStation, you got to pay $60 or something. Yeah, like at this point, I think people are saying like it's more of a content war than it is a platform war, and I completely agree. And I feel like that's what Sony is also trying to defend itself against, of saying like, okay, we have these amazing games. We need to get people interested in these games that are people that might not be sold on having a PS5, which is why we're seeing God of War on PC and, all those games coming to PC eventually.
Yeah. Dude, I want to play God of War so bad.
Man.
So good on
You
PC.
haven't played it?
I played it. I beat it. I just haven't played it on PC.
Oh.
I want to try it with the new PC update and everything. Oh, that looks beautiful.
I feel like I was like almost gonna buy it before coming here, for vacations. But then I was like, dude, Horizon Forbidden West is coming out on the 18th, and I am gonna play the crap out of that. So it's obviously not the best of times to go revisit God of War. I feel like this year is not gonna be the best of times to revisit anything with the amount of games that are coming out.
That's
Just
true.
The first 2 months are, dude, Dying Light is out today. I'm not I hate zombie games, so I'm not gonna play that. But I know that's a massive thing. Like Horizon coming out, Elden Ring coming out. There's Gran Turismo 7, Triangle Strategy. There's just so many games coming out, and like it's gonna be insane. I'm sure like 2022 is gonna be remembered as one of those insane years for games, just like 2007 and 2017.
Yeah,
was it 2017?
I can't recall exactly the year, but I know what you're talking about. Like
whatever year the Nintendo
every
Switch and Zelda and Mario Odyssey came out, that was like a fantastic year.
Yeah, exactly. Fortnite is going to consume all major game characters. Oh, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think that's about it. Any final thoughts, Mono?
No. I'm gonna have to sort those connection issues somehow on the editing board.
No worries. We'll get it situated.
So,
guys, thank you so much again for tuning in it's the guy from Fortnite. I know. Thank you so much for tuning in every single Friday. I think the podcast has really seen some growth, right, Mono? I mean,
Yeah. I'm actually surprised. I don't have the figures right now, and they change significantly day to day. But I feel like a lot of people are enjoying the podcast. We're getting some positive feedback on it. So right now, like the audience, according to Anchor FM, which is the platform we're using, rates this at 100. Estimated audience, which I'm going to say is fairly good for a podcast that is just starting out. So, yeah, and I think, like, I really enjoy doing it, and I feel like you and Terry really enjoy it as well, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, again, Terry is out today because of a personal emergency, but he'll definitely, hopefully, be back next week as, business as usual. But we're going to hype up, and throughout the week, we're going to hype up Mr. Fresh Baked Goods next week at this time. Thank you so much, Busco, for the bits. This time, again, 1 p.m. Friday, we're going to have the Tank Lord himself, Mr. Fresh Baked Goods, commenting about his thoughts on like the tank meta, how he got into tanking, how he got into Hella Loose. So a lot of great questions. If you guys have other questions too you want to ask Fresh Baked Goods, feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments. We're going to go ahead and have this live on our YouTube channel, Mono's Gaming Club, Spotify as well, right, Mono?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, basically all the major podcast platforms are have the program available.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have all the details out. So if you have any feedback, as always, leave it in the comments. If you have any questions you want to ask for Fresh Baked Goods for next week, let us know.
Oh, on the closing note, two things. One, remember to send in your music recommendations for the intro music. We are going to feature, I didn't do it for the last podcast, I forgot, but we are going to feature music from video games as the intro podcast, intro music every single time. So, we'd like some recommendations of what you would like to hear. And also, you can send those questions into at monosgameclub@gmail.com, which is MONOS gameclub@gmail.com. So definitely send those questions in and send those music recommendations, please, because that helps a lot to get some content in on the podcast.
Definitely. So without further ado,
that's going to be it.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do is end the podcast. As part of ending the podcast, we want to go ahead and share some love too. So we're actually going to go ahead and raid a Hella Loose streamer. It looks like he has one viewer right now. So I want to go ahead and make sure. Risk of Rain too. Oh, I love Risk of Rain. Oh, that's a good music, yes. I will say. I do like Risk of Rain. Andrew, thank you. We'll go ahead and send it over to Mr. Sopro Warrior here. So make sure you send him some love from the Monos Gaming Club podcast. Again, guys, thank you so much for everything. You guys are awesome. 10 seconds for the raid. Thank you so much.
See ya.
From us. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.